Okay, so it's January 29th, 2026, and I'm not really a political person. I don't really have an interest in Chinese politics. However, I've just been looking at other people's channels, and there's some speculation there that Shang Yushia may be connected with Lin Bushwan, the soldier that came forward in Yu's case. And, so I want to find out more about that. So I'm going to start with asking Yu Menglong about Lin Bushwan and Zhang Yuxia and how that will affect the future of China. Okay, starting now. So, is Lin Bushwan connected to the Zhang Yuxia family?
So pretty street.
Yu Menglong, was Lin Bushwan kidnapped and injected with a toxic substance, leaving him in a vegetative state?
Think about his Mickey Fine.
Yu Menglong, was he harmed by the Shi clan through Shi Yuanping?
When she walked, see. Enemy is not just verbal.
Yu Menglong, did the harming of Lin Bushwan intensify the conflict between Shang Yushia and Xi Jinping?
लेकिन usagé c'est un autre.
Yu Menglong, will Lin Bushwan recover?
That is out of power.
Pour que les personnes.
I guess. In
Yu Menglong, is Shang Yushia dead?
when you've got
C'est le gouvernement.
which into it later.
Yu Menglong, sorry, I messed up there. How will that affect the country, and will it lead to a bloody conflict?
Socio-étrange.
Menglong, is Xi Jinping trying to wrestle back control to create a Xi family dynasty and pass it on to his illegitimate son to lead the country?
Like I tell you,
Mais, je suis la situation.
yeah, before. How's
Menglong, will he succeed in his plans? And how many others has he purged? Or
suggestion? He was making sure that
will he succeed?
Am I gonna have
Portage. Communication is.
Thank you, Menglong, for helping me get this information out to everyone in China. And I just want to give you like a short minute to say whatever else you need to say in regards to this.
The secretary. Donald
sits on?
and Paul.
Thank you, Menglong. Goodbye. Okay, so my findings for this session with Lin Bushwan and Shang Yushia, and I'm very worried about putting this up there, but I feel it needs to be done. I first asked you if Lin is connected to the Youxia family, and you confirmed he is. He concealed his identity to protect the family. Xi's plans failed because you told a priest prior to his death what the plan was, and the priest informed Zhang Yushia. The Politburo had to address this. They knew they couldn't arrest Xi for creating list. So what they did was they actually spied on him and set him up and videotaped as much as they could to present to him. They realized that Xi was behaving like another Mao Zedong, that he intended to hold on to the country till his death and pass it on as sort of like a dynasty. They couldn't arrest him, so for making the list, they discussed a plan to blackmail him with the footage that they had collected of Yu's death, and they got him to step down at the third plenum. I then asked you about the rumors that Lin was kidnapped and injected with a toxic substance, which left him in a vegetative state. You said they took him and they wanted him dead, but because he is a red child, they could only bully him. I let him think about being expunged. They beat him, and at that time he saw their true face and screamed at the top of his lungs. He wanted to run. He thought if he ever gets home, he must never speak of this, and he had to forget it. So then I asked if Lin was harmed by the Shi clan through Shi Yuan Ping, and you said yes. They stole his ears, and I realized they like taking ears. I think they took at least one of you's ears as well. When they did that, Lin began to doubt he would ever get out of confinement. His captors knew he was important, though, that he was not only worth triple the price, but he could be used as a bargaining chip to control Shang Yushia. So they tried to persuade him to talk instead. They said his lieutenant followed him on social media and they, buttered him up. But Lin Bushwan refused to cave. And the reason why she is determined because he believes he's got to take control back of the nation from Zhang Yushia. So he's using Lin to try and do that. Then I asked, did the harming of Lin intensify the conflict between Zhang and Shi? And you told me that it did, but Shi didn't regret it. He looked at it as a battle and the best was going to win. So someone called Lei thought if they have the king, they have, control. But Shang won't trust Lei. He says he's full of shit. The spirit's words, not mine. This part gets a little confusing here. Two spirits say simultaneously, guess it's his head to take and always with them. I think the spirits are talking about Shi and that Lei is, providing support and is with them wholeheartedly. Zhang says he's trapped in this and says, I'm scared if I stop that this will all end in suffering. I then ask will Lin recover and come back from this? And you says, I can't see it. They blinded him and cut off his toes on at least one of his feet. For this, he said, I can't leave here, says the spirit. They've gone too far. He thinks that if he can survive, though, for 1 or 2 years and he suffers enough, he'll go kiss some ass again. He says, this is how we play things, this game. I'll jump for them and ask if, and I'll keep my mouth shut if that's what it takes. And then he ends in saying, I'm afraid. I then asked you, is Shang Yushia dead? So Shang Yushia came forward then and started talking here. So he says that they asked this of me. It doesn't say who, but I imagine it was the elders. They called the mission Bringing Out the Devil. Obviously, they mean Shi here. They pray they had it, but they lost control of him in the end. And Shi vowed to deal with whomever was disloyal to him. And she also proved to Shang that he had men that were disloyal to him because I'm assuming that they were able to track his movements through his men. One of his men betrayed him. Shang vows to find which one betrayed him and toss him in the lake. She blames Hu Jun Tao, something like that. He went to kill the man. He wants to kill him. She proclaims they all have to die. He wants to send them all back home. I think that's what they mean by that is when you die, I think in China, you go back home to be buried. Is that right? I'm not sure. Shang Yushia says, I was almost home. And I think he's saying he was ready to retire, but he couldn't leave the country like this. So, yeah. I asked you then, how will this affect the country, and will it lead to a bloody conflict? And you said yes. It will erupt in violence. They will hide the elites in nuclear tunnels or bunkers. Then they will prepare to destroy the towns. It says that the citizens will hack fumes, and I'm assuming that the government tries to suppress the uprising using biological warfare because they lack the manpower and equipment to face the military straight on. The more you trash talk Xi, the more desperate he will get. Shang Yushia tells me Xi bought the men from the South Pacific to take him down. I then asked you if Xi is trying to wrestle back control of the country to create a Xi family dynasty that he can then pass on to his illegitimate son. And you told me he hopes to stay chairman. He's doing this to remind the Politburo that there are 3 less threats now. He's reminding them it's not safe at Zhang. Real terror rushed over them all. She proved that my loss, Shang's talking here, was his gain. If he took the house, meaning I think took back control of the 3 departments of the government, then if he couldn't create the dynasty, his son would. I asked you if he will succeed in his plans, and he says that she thinks the West is trying to take the country from him. Shang tried to deal with his paranoia by suggesting that the parties meet for a liaison. Zhang was trying to make sure that happened. He was the only one who could stand up to Xi. The elders said, you've got to save us. Shang was trying to save Xi from destroying himself, but instead he pushed for Shang's arrest. Shang told me he was naked when they showed up outside of his residence. They started shooting and he was shot. He then said it was civil war. So Xi declared war on the country with his actions, and he has to stop. You took care of me at that time. So Zhang saying, in my opinion, after hearing everything he said and you and the other spirits said, he's most definitely dead. He's left a message for the troops. He said, carry the units. Communication is being traced. Take the head of the snake. You've got to get it done. The 38 will combine with police. Ask my assistant. I put the plan in my desk. This is how to stop civil war. He wants this. He doesn't want to see any senseless deaths. I then gave you a minute to tell me anything else he had to tell me that might be important. And Shang Yushia said, do this, or we become North Korea. I've seen it. Imagine the kids. They are told in the future all the respected people are rebuffed. We've got to say no to this. It's time to stand up. They're killing us. She is. He'll make us do this. You'll fight and die for this. His impossible war. Don't do it. You've got to choose peace. Don't be afraid. Then the spirit said, Donald, clearly, and a phone rang and was picked up, and it was answered. I'm assuming it just sounded like that. I believe it was in the Oval Office. The Chinese people are crying out. They're saying he's starving us. They beg, please, it's time to find his house. I think they want a repeat of Venezuela. Then Shang warns us, you can't trust the police, whose guns will be aimed at us. She has got his backup because there's no turning back now. And that's what they end up saying. That's the end of it. And my impression is if Shang Yushia was alive, she could free him and say, my bad, and work a way out of this. But he can't do that because Shang Yushia was killed that night. And so he can't produce them to find another route. So that's more proof that Shang Yushia is passed on and he's no longer with us. Okay, so that's all my findings for today. It was a rather long, and I hope you guys stick through it all. And, I'm just going to take a break for a few days because this was tough. Okay, bye.